guys, welcome into a very special Dynasty Rookie Draft edition of the Pucks Out Podcast.
Yeah.
I'm Bobby Butler. He's Brandon Bond.
What's going on, fellas? Hey-o.
Hey, it's time to talk something a little bit else than hockey, which lately we've been doing a lot in the regular podcast. This is a YouTube exclusive, so hope you guys are enjoying the regular podcast this week, and let's help you guys dominate your Dynasty League this year.
Yeah. We kind of thought about this. I just got through a Dynasty rookie draft for one of my leagues. I felt like I came out of it pretty good, but wanted to give some both regular Dynasty League rankings, top 12 rankings, and then go into a SuperFlex ranking, as the league makeup is obviously going to be different in a SuperFlex and who you want to value. So you want to go ahead and go first with your regular top 10?
Yeah, do we just want to do them all at one time, or do you want to...
Yeah, we can go, regular top 12. We'll just go regular, you go 12, I go 12, so on and so forth.
All right. So at 12, I've got Ruggs.
Okay.
Wide receiver now with the Raiders.
Okay.
He's a solid. He's solid. There's some receivers that are better than him. I think he'll be better down the road than immediately right at the start.
Okay. So for my number 12 in regular, I got Tua at number 12. So regularly, that quarterback position is not going to be as valuable, but getting a potential superstar on your roster, depending on your roster makeup, always a great option. May not be an immediate, may not fill immediate needs, but again, it's Dynasty League, so a Dynasty League format. So that is, immediate need isn't always your only and foremost thought process. So
yeah. I don't even think he made my top 15, to be honest. With those injuries, I think he's going to get torn up in the NFL.
Yeah, but I feel like when you go into Dynasty League, you can't miss on a potential superstar for injury purposes, especially in a rookie draft.
Well, here's my one and only quarterback in my top 12, and that's number 11. At number 11, Joe Burrow, quarterback now at Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I mean, the man has got superstar written all over him. I think he's going to be a force to reckon with. Give that man some weapons, and he knows how to win.
Oh yeah. I as you'll see through my rankings, I feel like you definitely have him a little undervalued. But at my number 11, I got Justin Jefferson going in to an immediate role with the Vikings at receiver. Got some pedigree. I think he's going to be a valuable asset to Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen up there.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. That's why I've got him at number 10.
Okay, nice call. So nothing really to add. Anything?
Okay. Yeah, you covered it.
My number 10, I got Keyshawn Vaughn, Vanderbilt running back, playing for Tampa now. I mean, the way they're talking this guy up, they love him. They think he can be a 3-down back. That's a rarity in this league. Bruce Arians hates Ronald Jones. He can't pass block. Just a good opportunity. I mean, we've seen what Brady can do with a skilled running back, and Vaughn is one of those guys that was undershadowed, in my opinion, by playing for a poor Vanderbilt team, and his skill set even showed through when he was playing behind a horrendous offensive line, in my opinion. So I think he's going to be able to provide an immediate need there in Tampa, and that was actually who I was able to get with my pick 112. And now that's a SuperFlex league, but obviously a great get to be able to get a potential starting running back there in the first round after that big group went. So
yeah. So at number 9, I've got Jalen Reagor, wide receiver now at Philadelphia. I think he's going to be a solid pass-catching receiver, which I guess they all have to be.
Some of them are not. Some of them are burners, and that's what they're for.
Yeah,
so
he's going to be solid at Philadelphia. He'll have a decent below average quarterback thrown to him.
He went higher than I expected in our draft. He went at number 10. The guy's a Philly fan. I'm going to be honest with you. I just didn't have Jalen Reagor ranked as highly. I don't have him in my I don't know where I specifically would have him, as we only went to 12. But I'm just not high on him for some reason or another. I mean, obviously a lot of opportunity there should Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson get hurt, but Zach Ertz and Goddard and Miles Sanders and Boston Scott there, it's just so much that hopefully he would be able to provide, and I'd like to see him do well, but I just don't feel it personally.
Yeah.
So my number 9, I actually have Henry Ruggs. I was able to he was slid all the way to me to at 203 in my Dynasty league. I feel like I'm not huge on Ruggs, as we've talked about through the draft portion, but the pedigree, the draft pedigree, them going up and grabbing him, I just feel like 9 is a really good spot, and I definitely couldn't have let him pass it 15th overall.
Yeah.
So I think that I hate this comparison because, I mean, he's going to go into the league and he's going to be Henry Ruggs. He's not going to be anybody else, but does he have a shot to be a Tyreek Hill style receiver? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think that is what we're going to get out of this?
Not on day one.
Not necessarily. I don't think that's going to be the case. But I do. I mean, the skill set's there. The comparability is there, and I wouldn't say it's impossible for sure. So that's who I have at number 9 is Henry Ruggs. What do you got at number 8, buddy?
A guy you had a little bit earlier, Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
This is the kind of guy that Brady's going to love.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who can catch those 5, 10, post routes, can block him, keep him safe, can occasionally take the handoff. I mean, this is going to be a workhorse for Brady.
Agreed.
And that if Tampa Bay wants a chance at winning the Super Bowl, that's what they need as a workhorse.
I completely agree with that. Number 8, I have Joe Burrow. We just talked about it a little bit ago. I feel like you were a little low on him. Weapons galore. Great offensive mind. Last year they had picked. Their offensive line was terrible, but they had an offensive line, first round offensive line pick last year that was hurt and just wasn't able to play. And then we're able to bolster some team, get T. Higgins in there. I liked the fit for Joe Burrow, and I think he could be a potential, like you said, a superstar in this league for years to come. Obviously, I'm higher on Trevor Lawrence, but rookie drafts are what they are, so you got to go for what you can get. He's definitely going to start. He's going to be able to provide immediate impact on the team. So that's why I have Joe Burrow at number 8.
All right, so my number 7, another running back. I've got a lot of running backs in my top 12. This is a running back heavy year.
Well, it's just in Dynasty League,
yeah.
Running backs are going to be more important.
So I've got I've got DeAndre Swift at Detroit now. Another workhorse, big guy. He's a stout guy, gonna be able to work hard in the trenches. And Detroit, they need a little bit of hope, and I think he's that hope that Detroit's been waiting for.
Kerryon Johnson being there, everybody is so. But Kerryon Johnson came into this league saying he didn't want to be a workhorse running back. He wanted to have a specific role on a team. DeAndre Swift, I have him a little higher, probably more for a long-term player, not as necessarily he's going to come in and maybe be able to make as much of an impact as who I have at number 7, Cam Akers. I have Cam Akers at number 7. I feel like while the immediate impact that Cam Akers is going to potentially be able to provide, I think that's going to depend a lot on a guy that they have always loved, Malcolm Brown, and Darrell Henderson, or as the fantasy footballers call him, Darnell Anderson. So I mean, he's got some chances to make a great opportunity out of getting a lot of touches there. But that offensive line is still garbage.
Yeah.
It's still absolute trash. It's going to be hard to tell if he's just not cut out for the NFL type of player, or it's just he's not cut out to run behind guys like you and me.
Yeah.
So Cam Akers is who I have at 7. What about your number 6?
Cam Akers.
Yeah.
And pretty much all that you said. Unless they bolster that line a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to be good for a couple years, but I think he's going to get too beat up. I don't think he's going to do much past his rookie contract.
Well, I just think
that's why you got to take advantage of him now when he's young and spry.
I think that's where it really, depending on what they address. My reasoning for 7 is that he's still going to have opportunity there. And great players are going to make a little bit out of opportunity. He may not score you 20 fantasy points a game, but if he scored you a solid 10 to 12 a game, with where you're going to be able to get him in the draft, be a good opportunity and maybe be able to bolster a weaker dynasty lineup pretty immediately. So good call on number 6. My number 6, I have CeeDee Lamb.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm not high on his landing spot there in Dallas, but talent is going to shine through. They obviously are able to utilize their talent, and Dak Prescott is able to get people involved in that offense and make some things happen. So CeeDee Lamb was pretty highly touted coming out. I saw the appeal. I didn't, obviously, as I said, didn't like the landing spot. But again, when you start getting into these dynasty rankings, you gotta take, that may not be the best necessarily fit for now, or you may not be sure how it's going to work out, but it's superstar caliber player that you can't necessarily miss on, except for maybe a few other guys that you may be willing to take over that guy.
Yeah.
So
all right, so my number 5, I've got Jerry Jeudy.
that's who I have at 5 as well, Jerry Jeudy.
So yeah, I mean I think that a lot of people thought he was the best wide receiver in the bunch. I don't.
I do personally.
I think my guy a little bit is the number 1 receiver. I think he's going to be great. I don't know if Denver's the best spot for him.
Agreed on that.
And I think that really my top 2 receivers, it all depended on where they landed. I think that because he landed in Denver, not a great quarterback there, not a lot of other weapons.
Drew Lock, he played okay football at the end of last year.
I don't trust John Elway in making a quarterback great.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not up to him to make him great because he's not the quarterback.
It looks like he tries to. I mean,
he's the drafter. I like a lot of what Drew Lock gave us. I mean, it may not have the immediate volume that you're going to be wanting, but it's one of those talents are going to shine through. He's going to be able to make plays when you look like a much crazier. I mean, look how great Cortland Sutton looked last year, but because he had to look great because he had a bad quarterback. He wasn't able to just run through and catch the ball and score a touchdown. He had to make a crazy touchdown catch, and I think a lot of that is gonna fall off of Drew Lock. But with 3 stout running backs there, I just feel like I'm with you. I mean, Drew Lock could be out next year. The Broncos could have a horrendous season this year and go be able to grab somebody like Trevor Lawrence or something. I mean, that's the nature of the NFL. So Drew Lock is either going to step into his own or he's not, and that will kind of determine the future. But I don't think that Jerry Jeudy should fall any farther than 5th in my opinion.
Yeah. So who do you got number 5?
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy.
Yes,
Okay. Sorry.
Same as you.
So at number 4, I've got J.K. Dobbins, a running back in Baltimore now.
Yeah.
That is a team that a running back would love to be on. I mean, he's going to be running the option, the Wildcat. I mean,
crowded backfield right now,
yeah.
But I mean, with the biggest opportunity, I feel like to.
I mean, I think
down the road.
I think he'll be the cream that rises to the top.
Sure. Well, I mean, with Mark Ingram there, I think it's a great opportunity for him to be able to play a role. I mean, Mark Ingram has played great football these past few years when people have said he's down and out. I mean, it's one of those situations you're going to pay a guy $5-6 million, run him, especially if he's not running poorly. J.K. Dobbins has a chance in 3 years to look like the best draft pick from this class as far as a dynasty rookie, though. I completely agree with that. My number 4, I have DeAndre Swift. Like I said, I'm a little higher on him than you. I think that he's gonna fall into this job and take over as the lead back, with Kerryon Johnson providing role assistance. I think that's what Kerryon wants. I think DeAndre Swift has the ability to do so, but with a lot of opportunities for 2 running back sets. I mean, that's looking across that line. That's not 2 guys you want to look into their eyes, Kerryon Johnson and DeAndre Swift, and have to choose which one of them is going to get the football.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're in a league now where you need 2 great running backs, and I feel like that was it's maybe seems a little silly on the surface, but you're able to. That's how you're able to win football games, is with not the same way as you win fantasy football games.
Yeah.
Find the guy that's going to get 30 touches and you're going to win by default because you've got more opportunities to score. Football teams need guys that can come in and be a gadget player and score a touchdown quick. I mean, the year that Adrian Peterson was taken 8 overall, everybody said, "Oh well, the Vikings don't need a running back. What are they doing?" And I mean, look what you got. You got one of the greatest football players that we ever saw play the game of football. Yeah. So that's why I have DeAndre Swift at my 4 spot. Who you have at your 3 spot, sir?
So this is a guy. This is my personal favorite of this group. He falls to me at number 3 though. CeeDee Lamb. I think he will be a great player for years to come. I think we might see he might eventually be seen as one of the best receivers. Everything I see from him, his tapes, he looks great. Speed, hands, power, everything you need. He can get great separation. And as much as I hate Dallas, great team to be receiver at right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the distractions. You've got distractions on the other side that the defense is going to be looking at. I mean, it's
while I absolutely agree with your potential player assessment, I just don't think that he's going to be a number 4 dynasty guy because of all the same reasons that you said. He a great place to be a receiver, absolutely, no question about it, to win team football games, in my opinion. Again, that dynasty. I mean, Michael Gallup's not a young man. Amari Cooper just signed a really long deal. I just can't trust the target share that you're going to potentially get for 5 years out of CeeDee Lamb.
I think he'll have the highest target share for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I just don't see that as happening. But hey,
yeah,
is it possible? Yes, absolutely. He has the talent to make that happen. But so do Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper, in my opinion. Sometimes, like 50% of the time for Amari. My number 3 is the guy you had it for, J.K. Dobbins. Like I said, he has a chance in 2 years to be a dominant running back on a run-first football team with not a lot of necessarily high-impact tackles that he's going to have to take by nature of their offense. I mean, they're not big. Not that they don't run it up the middle or run it up the gut, but they want to trick you. They want to get it around on the edge. They want to slide Lamar Jackson out to the outside and make something happen. J.K. Dobbins has a tremendous opportunity here, and I'm really looking forward to watching his career with interest.
Yeah. So now moving into the top 2, this guy, personally, my 1 and 2 are interchangeable pretty much, but that's Mr. Home Improvement, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Running back in Indianapolis.
That's who I have as well.
Yeah.
And obviously, I would imagine I know who you have at 1, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
I would say that those two, absolutely, as you said, could be interchangeable at 1 and 2. I think it's really dependent on what you need.
Yeah.
If you need a running back that's going to be able to come in and provide you some depth, and you'll be able to count on this guy, I think it's Helaire, no question. I think long term, Jonathan Taylor, if you have the ability to withstand a little weight to get that top tier running back, I think Jonathan Taylor is the best opportunity for you there in my opinion. So I have Jonathan Taylor 2, Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 1. Some people look way too far in the future in dynasty leagues, and I think that the good barometer is look at it about 1 to 3 years out. You don't need to be looking much further than that. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire could be an immediate impact and still provide you 2 to 3 years in the future. I think you have to go him. We had a deal happen in the first league, and Jonathan Taylor went number 6, and the guy at number 8 actually traded Brandon Cooks and that pick specifically turned into DeAndre Swift for Jonathan Taylor, and I think that the guy that received Taylor, won that draft, no question. Unless some receiver help was needed. But yeah, that'll wrap up our final for the regular dynasty draft, just a single quarterback. But moving into the SuperFlex, which is obviously going to be a lot different format. You definitely got to get some quarterback depth in there. So it's very similar, but with quarterbacks mixed in. Keyshawn Vaughn is my 12. We already talked about him. Henry Ruggs is my 11. Cam Akers is my 10. CeeDee Lamb is my 9. Jerry Jeudy is my 8. DeAndre Swift is my 7. I got 6. I got Justin Herbert. That's where he's going to slot in. A guy that can come in and immediately, not immediately, but potentially steal that role from Tyrod Taylor. but is definitely looking with really high draft capital as a good opportunity to with a lot of weapons and a lot of guys that can provide assistance to a rookie quarterback. Justin Herbert is who I have at 6. Still, J.K. Dobbins at 5. Jonathan Taylor at 4. Clyde Edwards-Helaire at number 3. There in Kansas City, and then I got Tua at 2, and then Joe Burrow at 1. SuperFlex is not usually something that you want to risk your quarterbacks. Some people don't rank those top quarterbacks. They may rank Hilaire or Taylor above them, and I can understand that. I mean, getting some deep running back depending on what you need. But I mean, if you're sitting there with Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees as your quarterbacks, that is fine for this year and maybe even next year. But you're getting to the point where those guys retire, and in super flex leagues, there's not a lot of quarterbacks like sitting out there on the waiver wire that you can just go grab up and throw in there and play like there are in regular leagues. So
I didn't do a top 12. I'm just going to talk about some quarterbacks that I think.
Sure.
Obviously, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, or my clear top 2. A lot of people have Tua Tagovailoa. I haven't pronounced it.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like I said earlier, I don't trust those injuries. I think this is the big boys league. He's somewhere in there, but I would put Jacob Eason at 3.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to get any immediate impact with him.
No,
and his draft capital was so low that the Colts may go grab another quarterback next year.
But I think that if you've got 2 solid quarterbacks now, if you're then get Jacob Eason. I think in 2 or 3 years he might not still be on Indianapolis, but I think from what I've seen of his tapes, he has the build to go far in this league, and that is something that is important. I think Jake Fromm is a solid future.
Sure.
I haven't seen much of Jake Fromm's tape, but from what I have seen, he's solid. Jalen Hurts, I'm kind of on the fence about Jalen Hurts.
I had to go. I mean, obviously he's going to go immediately into a backup role. In this Dynasty league, I actually took him with my 303, my 3rd round pick. I had to. And it's a super flex league, and I took over this team, so it didn't have a lot of help as is. I had Carson Wentz and Daniel Jones. Those are my 2 quarterbacks in a super flex league. So I felt like to not go out and spend a 3rd round pick on Jalen Hurts. All those other guys were there. Jordan Love, Jacob Eason. I felt like with Wentz's injury history, I could be drafting a guy that I know was going to originally sit on my bench, but could potentially save my season by being able to not have a missing quarterback. Does that make sense? Sometimes in Dynasty, it's more you got to go grab that handcuff in those later rounds. Than grab a superstar. So now, I'm with you on that.
A guy I want to talk about quick, Jordan Love. Anybody that watched any of our previous stuff knows that I absolutely despise that pick by the Packers. However, I think that because this draft was so bad, there's a possibility that in about 2 or 3 years, the Packers could be passing a lot to keep up in games because they'd be getting blown out. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be there in 2 or 4 years, which means Jordan Love is going to have a quantity over
obviously
quality.
He's going to the Vikings.
So I think Jordan Love could be suitable. Pick to stash for now.
He went 2 rounds after me. I mean, again, it's one of those situations where you're talking about the 3rd round pick. You're either getting, I'm going to take a chance on Cole Kmet, KJ Hamler. I mean, could they turn out all right? Sure, absolutely. But in a super flex league where quarterback is going to be so needed down the stretch that it's just hard not to pass on even these backup quarterbacks. And I mean, because what could happen is could have a terrible year because I have no quarterbacks, end up at the top of the draft and having to take Trevor Lawrence or somebody next year to make up for not being able to get a quarterback early this year. I could have potentially. I had the number 3 pick. Traded that for pick 112, 212, and I got O.J. Howard. So I traded my 1-3 and Irv Smith for 112, 212, and O.J. Howard. I turned that into to Keyshawn Vaughn, Darrington Evans, the 3rd round running back that went to the Titans, that kid from App State, who's going to walk into a great pass catching role almost immediately with Deion Lewis gone. And then Henry Ruggs fell to me at 203, which I already had, and able to get Jalen Hurts, and then made a little move and traded my 4th round pick. So overall, happy with the draft. Could have had Edwards-Helaire early on, would have been nice, but I feel like I'm much happier with the 2 running back pieces I got instead of that 1 single running back piece or Justin Herbert. So. Love it, man. You know how much I love fantasy football and fantasy sports, so I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
Let's talk some regular Dynasty. Maybe we'll move into some regular keeper soon. But great.
All right, guys. This has been the fantasy football edition of the Pucks Out podcast. Catch us on YouTube. See you later.
Peace.